Peace, everyone. Welcome back to InnerNet OS. This is day 2 of the build. Now, this is really the video where we start installing the tools. Excuse me, I have a little bit of sinus thing going on, but anyways. This is where we start installing the tools and realizing how to utilize the programs that are going to be running our offline local anointed intelligence. AI, artificial intelligence, ancient intelligence, whichever language you like. We wanted to be on our own computers, but as you guys knew in the beginning when I told you guys about this Surface Book, I spoke to the specs a little bit. It has 16 gigs of RAM, i7, 2.5 gigahertz processor, but this is not anywhere near enough. As I started walking through the program and the installation, as you'll see here in a few minutes, I realized that the GPU, or the graphics processor unit, is one of the most key indicators, or the key performance indicators. And so because this has an Intel Iris GPU, we're waiting like 10 minutes for a response. So my brain starts to understand why Meta and NVIDIA and all these guys have these data centers, and these data centers are processing our requests on behalf of our computers, and is just shooting the information back to us so that we can see what the result is. But they're doing all the processing on that side. It's not happening on the internet. And so this helped me understand a little bit more of like what we're really dealing with, why we're seeing NVIDIA shoot to the top of stocks, and why we're seeing so many, I guess you can say, news and media around jobs in the area of AI and the development. So with that being said, the machine that you select was going to reflect the limitations you experience. And so I'm very grateful to know that I'm not going to be using this machine for long. I'm actually going to start saving up right now and look for a computer which has 16 to 32 gigs of RAM, i7 or i9 processor, or maybe AMD, depending on the gigahertz. And it needs to have a dedicated graphics card. It needs to have a well put together dedicated graphics, or else this is not going to be well of a dependable AI. It's not. So those are a little bit of the kinks. So with that being said, I'm going to start now by walking you through the installation of LM Studio, Ollama, Whisper, and Open Web UI. All right. So these 4 programs are going to be the 4 programs that are meant to interconnect so that we can utilize them for our models, language models. We're going to be telling our AI what information it's to digest, and then we're going to be building a library based on that information so that we can always query that information and allow the language models to do what they do best. So with that being said, everything installed fine when I ran Gemini, but it took about 10 minutes to fully receive the response. So I started wondering, is this even really going to work, or is this a dead-end mission? And so then I started looking at the specs and the specifics, and I learned a lot in the process. So another thing that I'm considering is potentially I could use my MacBook, which is the main computer that I have, because it's an M1 MacBook Pro, 16 gigs of RAM, and I'm not sure exactly what the graphics situation is. Let's see. Graphics and displays. So it does have a built-in graphics card, 16 cores, but it doesn't give me any information concerning exactly what type of chip it is. So I'll need to look into the specs that are available on Apple's website to learn about the specifics of the graphics processor that's built into this computer. But with that being said, let's jump right into the installation of LM Studio. To install LM Studio, all you got to do is go to lmstudio.ai, and then you select the LM Studio that operates on your particular machine. So we're using a Windows for this, so I went ahead and selected download LM Studio for Windows and get that downloaded. These programs are very simple to install. If you ever installed Skype or Google Chrome, it's literally accept terms of agreements, next, choose the installation directory, wait a minute, and it's done. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys step by step installing LM Studio, Ollama, Whisper, and Open Web UI, and let's get started.